So here it is, Raspberry Pi, OpenPlotter installed, well, not fully installed, but running with NMEA 0183 inputs. You can see over here on the side, these are some cheapy eBay CH430T chipset NMEA to USB adapters. I've got my NMEA cables coming in the side here. I actually found that my USB hub is not powerful enough to power the originally planned 6, which isn't really that big of a deal. It meant that I had to end up taking the radar reading, which is really just a read signal. I had to take it off of the VHF NMEA converter. So little, not exactly the way I planned it, but everything seems to be working really well. I'm going to button it up. I'll give you some video and picture after I get it buttoned up. But before I do so, this whole panel is actually going to mount on top of these terminal boards here. So it's going to be like a sandwich deal. You can actually see I've made a little standoff system there. Cables come in the back. I got my little umbilical runs up there to those standoffs. So they're all pretty well labeled, terminated, all that. Anywho, I'll get back to you when it's all installed. See you then. So with little shoving and stuffing, I managed to get this mounted up in there. You'll notice from the other video, from the other clip, that it's actually upside down from the way it was originally printed. So you got my wires back there, all the connectors, made room for it, for the umbilical and everything. And I left it running the entire time just in case. I figured that would probably be the most arduous time while it was sitting there getting beat up and abused. So just went ahead and made sure everything worked. It ran through the entire time, and there you go. I'll show you some more clips as I progress. So I got the nav station pretty much back together. You can see the OpenPlotter Pi router all tucked back in there. It's running. Everything's talking to one another. I got my radar. I got the sailing instruments, the radio, and then the GPS. The GPS is upstairs, obviously, and the autopilot's upstairs. But nice thing is you can actually tell the radar is actually getting a nice example of all the information that you can see on the OpenPlotter. It's all being talked back and forth. We've got the GPS, we've got depth, water temperature. That's a problem with the actual transducer. Cross-track error, that would be coming in. We also have the heading. So course, I believe it might be course speed. But long story short, it's all coming in. It's all coming through the OpenPlotter. Same thing on the radio. We actually have all the DSC information coming in, and then it would also go back out. And then last but not least, see if I can get some information here. This is actually the computer. This is the head. If you've watched my other video, you know that this is actually a served out website. Here you go. Here's the website. And then I've got a link here. So the Raspberry Pi is actually serving the website, and that just gives you a nice, easy access to all the information. You got some instrument panels, and they populate with all the data. This is all the data that's coming in over the multiplexed information. I haven't quite figured out what the sail gauge is. I was hoping that hooking it up and getting some data in there would help. It looks like I may end up having to hang on better. It looks like I may have to actually go sailing to see what the sail gauges are all about. We got navigational gauges. Again, I haven't quite figured this out. These are a part of the OpenPlotter package. I haven't had NMEA information, so it hasn't really been available easily to figure out how it all works. But it looks like just the compass is reading, so I don't know how to fix it yet. Like I said, haven't had the data. Map tracker works really good, but you got to have internet access. And then, as in my other videos, you've already seen the OpenPlotter VNC. This is the head. This is how you get into the computer, and this is actually the Raspberry Pi. So we're in the OpenPlotter software right now. You can see some of the the inputs, the outputs. So I've got VHF in, autopilot in, sailing instruments, Garmin in, and then you can set all the rules too. So you can accept only the autopilot information, only the sailing instrument, only the GPS information. And then similarly, when you're sending information to the Garmin, it only accepts these prefixes. Same thing with the sailing instruments. Wasn't sure what the radar and the VHF and autopilot, I wasn't sure exactly. So if I knew what they would take, I tried to filter it. If I didn't, I just didn't bother. So yeah, it's all working. Pretty cool having some information going on. And then the other neat thing ultimately is that you can run OpenCPN on this, and this entire data stream comes into OpenCPN. So that's the actual ship's position right now. That's the charts. I'm actually looking at this. This is effectively a chart plotter, but it's independent of the laptop. I can see it on my phone. I can see it on anybody's device. Anybody on any device can see it. And similarly, can actually, let's see, if I go here, I have the viewer set up so that it's just a view only window. You can't modify it at all. I can make that full screen, but other than that, that's all we can do. Let's see, local scaling. So that's full screen. Nice thing is, friends and family, they can see your progress, they can watch your track, kind of like on the airplane, something like that, but they can't really screw you up. They can't mess with the system. On the other hand, you can't even tell a difference. I just changed tabs. This is the view only, and this is actually the modify, click and drag and modify. So the only difference is that your actions actually have effect. That's the only difference. It looks exactly the same. And then the other neat thing is it's all running within a web browser, all inside of the Firefox web browser. So, so this is all a Firefox web browser. This is the laptop. So just really wild, dream within a dream, Inception shit going on. So if you guys got any questions, feel free to reach out. Let me know. Kind of poking around here. Go back and show you that NMEA data again. See if I can get that focused on there. So you can see all the prefixes and all the data. Got all the sailing instruments, got the autopilot, got the Garmin GPS. It's all there. It's all there. All right, y'all. I'll catch you later.